regardless of where you find yourself, you can thrive. Relocation is not what defines whether you're successful in life or not. However, global opportunities exist. Start preparing from where you are today.
A Signals on 91.3, we're discussing the power of reinvention. Now, I'm sure that when you saw the flyer, you're like, what are they up to?
I know.
So, what is it about reinvention for you?
Well, reinvention really speaks to me because everything I am today, is all based on my ability to reinvent myself. I've had to reinvent myself over and over again. And, when we talk about reinvention, a lot of people think it's about changing who you are, but it's really not. It's actually about having that ability to adapt, to be ready for the next season of your life, whatever that might require from you. Sometimes it could require a new set of skills from you. Sometimes it could require a new set of mindset, a different kind of mindset. And sometimes it's something entirely different. But that ability to not, settle and say, oh, this is my current situation. I'm stuck here. There's nothing I can do to change, what I'm going through. But actually having the ability to do whatever it is it takes in terms of, if you have to upskill, you do so. If you have to think differently, act differently, change your routine, change whatever it is you need to change to actually be able to welcome yourself into the new season, then you do it.
Before we go further, 13 years in banking, and you 13 years banking, 13, 1 and 3 banking, and then you move to tech. What gave you the shift, the courage to start over? Because banking can be sweet and can be, but you decided that tech is the way.
Right. So I've had a lot of starting over, and the first one would be the one you've just, or one of the main ones as well, right? That has actually catalyzed a lot of change also in my journey. Is this moving to tech? I think at time it's just like the way right now we're hearing everybody say AI, AI. So there was a time too that it was tech.
We're not doing tech like this.
You're
tech. Missing.
Exactly. And being able to quickly spot opportunities before they even become popular is a special reinvention skill you need as well, so that you can actually prepare for it. So for me, it was about tech. I knew tech was the future. I have an accounting background. I've worked across customer service down to operations and financial control. But I knew that there still got to be more. And I knew tech was that more. And I also had an opportunity to move to another country where I also know that I need to reinvent myself if I want to integrate properly. And it was just what I had to do at the time. So just like I said, I knew I had to upskill. I found a blend between the background I had at the time. It was about 8 years, in banking, and I found something that could make me add tech to that. And then I found a course called financial technology that helped me to learn, to get the new skills in tech, and also enhance the original finance skills I already have to actually be able to transition into tech. So that was how it started for me. And I had to do a lot of upskilling, learning new skills, learning tech skills, to actually be able to get into.
Now, there's something about having to learn new skills. It's hard, right? For some people, it's like, this one is going to work, but then it's not working, or the time for that skill that we thought we learned is over. Moving into a new... What happened? Tell us.
Well, to be honest, nothing good comes easy. Nothing is, always like... Success is never accidental. You need to prepare for it. And it's hard to learn. Like, even right now, I tell myself, I'm all about I just want to, make money. I don't want to learn. But I'm still even learning right now, because if you don't learn, you just find out that you become, obsolete. You become stale and redundant. And it was hard, but it was something that I needed, to do. And that's how I think we should all look at it as well. If you don't embrace AI, something else is coming after AI. If you don't even bridge this first gap, how can you actually get, to the next step? So it's all about the discipline. First of all, identifying and knowing your why. Why am I doing this? for me then, when I started this, my master's in financial technology was after about how many years of leaving school. But I even wanted to do more than just have, a degree in technology. I wanted to also have a distinction because I was short by a few points of getting a distinction in my BSc. So I wanted to prove a point to myself that I am a distinction material. So I put in all the work, required to do more than just have that degree. And I think, even if not for anything, for myself, I proved that point, and yeah, I'm the better for it. And yeah.
Now, we read in the profile, navigating the UK job market. A lot of times when people go 6 hours, 7 hours out of the country to that country, it's very dear to my heart because I have friends, I have families who don't want to do the care work that they get to do, that a lot of people get to do. And they're like, no. And sometimes they're almost losing their minds that it sounds like, madam, don't worry, you will make it. And then they get a lot of rejection letters. And they used to count. I've gotten like, my cousin called me, I love you. My cousin said, I've gotten another, she didn't call it rejection letter. She called it.
Unfortunately.
No, she didn't even call it. She said she called it celebration letter.
Okay.
that was the one. That was the way.
That's the mind's like, yeah.
Okay. And she was like, I cannot do this. This is what I want to do. And I started to really look at her because when you go to a new country, they say that the kind of people that you meet determine how far you're going. I also learned that.
Absolutely.
Right. And then she goes, the kind of people I'm meeting, and I don't want to do what they're doing. How do I break into the corporate space of that country? And tell us, it's okay, just share. Because people are still going to Japan and come back. But even here too, how do we navigate new spaces that our heart yearns for, but what we're seeing is different?
Yeah. So firstly, reinvention even has nothing to do with you don't have to relocate before you embrace something new, or before you learn how to be adaptable. For me, navigating the job markets is it requires something very different for you. Yeah, you said a lot of things, the care work, for me as well, from my own personal journey. When I moved to the country, I knew what I came with. I knew the skills I had. I knew my competency. I knew where I was coming from. So I also had that determination that I was not going to,
do it.
Settle in their transit jobs. It's not only care. There are so many other jobs. But the mistake a lot of people make is to get stuck in them. Right? There are some jobs that you just have to do. When I was doing my master's, for instance, you can only work for 20 hours. Right, so the kind of jobs that would accommodate that flexibility are just a few. Care work happens to be one of them, right? Retail and some other jobs. However, that rejection is actually what pushes a lot of people. The pressure of the rejection, as well as the bills that never end. Our cycles are monthly in the UK, so what that means is that you don't pay rent once a year and go to bed and say when is about time for the next. Even if you manage to pay this month, the next one is waiting, so you can't afford to be idle, and that's what is the pressure that make a lot of people stuck. But what I always tell people is that, right, we have to do what we have to do. If we need to upskill to get into a new career path. So for me, like I said, I added tech. Even after finishing the masters, it wasn't enough. I still had to go learn new industry skills because the tools they will teach you in masters are theoretical. I had to go learn the Power BI, the Tableau, which are the industry analytical tools. And after learning all of this, I started putting the applications in. The rejections came, right? Even though
many.
There were lots, but guess what? Mine was even way better. The rejections people are getting now because of the change in economy is way more. So that mindset needs to be very strong. It needs to be very strong. But for me, after I used to even get the interviews once I put my CV out there, because I moved just before Jackpa. So once I put my CV out there and they see everything I can do. How can one person be able to do all of this? You have this, you are studying for SCA, you have this, SIMA, that. And they'll be it was just always amazing. So I used to get interviews. But you know what? At the end of the day, when you have the interviews, I get to the technical stage, I pass because, of course, technically. But that cultural, getting the acceptance. Yeah, getting the acceptance was, in fact, I got a particular rejection that I almost gave up. I'd gotten to final stages of about 5 interviews. I'd gotten feedback about, oh, you are good, maybe you're overqualified. Oh, or maybe someone else had internal. But this particular one, I was the only one who passed the technical stage of this interview.
Let's go
It was even the highest like salary range I had applied to.
Oh, let's go in.
So I felt that I'd got, even the recruiter told me I'd gotten the job. That the last stage is just like a
Human factor.
mirror dressing. It was just like like tick the box. Don't worry, you already have this job. And then I had that last stage of interview, and I got asked this question about how would you fit. I think I got asked the question that had to do with environment, and I was like, yeah, I will cope. I've worked with diverse, stakeholders. I've done all of this. But guess what? That was the end. No rejection, no acceptance. They just went quiet on me. And that was when I started. It got to me. And I was just like, you know what? I think I needed to do more. Do I need to do more? Like, even at the time, it was just about that time where I was like, should I give up? Do I need to go back to go and learn something else? But I had another opportunity again, which is why sometimes that rejection that hit the most might be the last one you will get. But a lot of people don't get to move to the next step because they give up, So I was exactly. So I was just about to give up, and then this call came again. We've seen your profile, this. In fact, there were so many reasons why I could have missed those interviews. There were 2 interviews back to back. In fact, I had to have my child, because I had a baby then, in the interview because I couldn't arrange childcare. And then I had this interview. It was the first interview. I got a pass, and then it passed 5 stages of interview, and then I got the job. And what made it even sweeter was the fact that this job was 10 grand more than the highest I felt I had, applied to. It was 10K more. So I was just like, the gap between you and
where you're going,
and where you want
just
to
a tiny
go,
little.
it's just, that's next step again. That another chance. Give yourself another step, another chance, to apply again, to put your foot forward again for that opportunity. And it might just be, the breaking point.
And that leads us to limitless and thriving. Now you have decided that you and I are going to be thriving together.
Yes, sir.
So tell us about that, limitless and thriving.
Right. So
you could not have passed all of that and not tried. You did not burn that suffering well.
Well, I give all the glory to God.
Yeah.
And so I had to write. It was just very important to write that book because I trained over 10,000 people to move into high paying roles. I'd supported over 100 founders, to start their business. What I stand for is limitless. I'd had 3 editions at the time I wrote this book of Limitless Without Borders, which is my flagship event as well. But it was just important that I document, all this journey, because sometimes when people are going through rejection, setbacks, new beginnings, they tend to feel that this is peculiar to me. I'm the one, I am the problem. But when they see people that have passed through multiple rejections, they see themselves right in those situations, and they're able to see that maybe I try again, maybe I don't give up. And that's why I wrote the book. It's about navigating change, setbacks, and new beginning. I've had to, from as little as 16 years old, I got my first rejection. Applied to, study law. I was meant to be a lawyer. Like, I applied to study law, and
court!
Nigeria happened to be a
court. It's not Nigeria. Court!
Right. So I was meant to be a lawyer. Like, from when I was, when some things look like your destiny, but sometimes it might not even be your destiny. All through my childhood, I was always told that I would be a lawyer. I was good at arguing. I was good at, making my points. I was good at literature. I was good, like, academically. I was good at everything that pointed at growth. But guess what? I did everything right. I passed my JAMB. I got a very good score in JAMB. I got a very good score in my work and everything. But I still got rejected. The first year, it was that they disaccredited law in the schools. So it was a systemic issue in the midst of the schools I applied to. And then the second year, they just didn't find my results. When you do all those post-jam, I traveled all the way to Ilorin, only to waiting patiently for the results to come out. And I logged in to check. You go to cyber cafe and
unscannable,
and they said your record does not exist. That particular phrase or sentence, it still haunts me till tomorrow. Your record, and I had my acknowledgement card. There's this card they print that you travel with. I have a reference number. How can and that year, I picked that school as my first and second choice. And it was my second year.
Oluwa.
So like your record does not exist. And I was like, is this going to be it? Like another year again? But that was my first rejection. And I found myself going to like a private school where, there's ease of entry. Choosing the course, I chose a course on the spot because I didn't even know what they had to offer. I chose a course on the spot, but I've always had that mindset. Whatever it is you find yourself doing, just do it excellently. Do it to the best of your ability. And that was exactly what I did. And like I said, I finished with some few points, some 0.0 something left to be a first class graduate in a field that I didn't have a background in, and all of that. And so rejections would always come. There are so many like rejections we face in life, but the ability to pick ourselves back up is exactly what is documented in that book. And I feel everybody should get a copy of the book, right? So that, they can get everything they need to navigate, rejection and change in life as well.
Let's stay a bit on I have done everything right. And you hear that often. We all hear that often. I have been the best child. I have been the best this. I have been the best that. Why am I having this setback? And when I hear people say that, sometimes I look at it from a proud point of view that, Oga, life is lifing. So why are you? But then it's hurting for them who say that I have the best career. I've gone to the best schools. I have put in the work. Why am I having this? Let's talk a bit more on that. And when people get into that, I have done everything right.
Yeah. So it's valid to feel that way. That, I've done everything right. I've been in so many situations like that. I've had awards, that I didn't get, grants I applied to, even as an entrepreneur, like the rejections, the job rejections. But there can always be more to do. We could have done everything right, but there's still more to be done. If a pivot is necessary, then we need to try pivots. We could actually be playing in the wrong pool or be playing, in the wrong markets. So if you've tried everything right in a particular place, look inwards again and say, what could I do? Where else could I try? Do some other research. What fields are things,
going to?
Yeah, what field are things doing better? Like, where can I reposition myself? Say, for instance, you're applying to jobs in a particular career path. You're struggling. What can I add to what I already have? Because you can always keep working on yourself and nobody can take that away from you. It's just like applying to a job in a field. How about using that skills for entrepreneurship and having ownership, starting your own thing? And, when you keep working on your own self, no employer, no judge or, panel body can take that away from you.
You have coached thousands of professionals. What limiting belief comes up the most when you are coaching them?
It's always about current situation. People feel they are defined from where they are from, what their current situation is, or what they are going through at the moment. And that's what reinvention is all about. Say for instance, you are moving from Nigeria to the UK to the US or any other country, or you are moving from employee to entrepreneur. There's always a reason to change in life. But that moment where you feel that I can't do this because I have this limitation.
Yes.
Is a limiting belief.
Already.
It's a limiting belief. Right. So ability to look beyond your current situation and actively, reinvent yourself by doing what you have to do. If you have to upskill, you do it. If you have to change your strategy, you do it. If you have to pivot, you do that. Do whatever it is you need to do. You are not defined by where you started from. You are not defined by your current situation or even your past. You can still be more.
You can still be more. A Signals on 91.3, we're discussing the power of reinvention with the CEO of RKY Group, Rukayat. Now, what's that one thing? Now, while I'm asking that, we need to go into that limitless and thriving book. So, they're going to read chapter. Many, money more. While she's looking for the chapter that I'm yet to tell her, because this is set up. Nice setup. Good.
Okay.
Chapter. What chapter comes to you? Chapter 5.
When opportunity meets preparation.
Raise it, raise it, raise it, raise it, raise it, raise it.
When opportunity meets preparation.
Paragraph 2.
Okay. I registered for professional qualifications. I enrolled in refresher courses to rebuild my accounting confidence. I'd been away from the technical side of accounting for a while. My degree was in accounting, yes, but I'd spent 4 years in customer service. I wasn't dealing with journal entries or financial statements. I was dealing with customers, solving their problems and managing teams. If I wanted to move into a more analytical department, I needed to upskill again. So I studied in the evenings, on weekends, alongside my full-time job and all the responsibilities that came with being the head of customer service at the time. I didn't wait for the opportunity to appear before I started preparing for it. I prepared because I knew that when the door opened, I wanted to be ready to walk through it.
Paragraph 3.
Then the organization launched something new, an internal mobility program. It was designed to help high-performing staff move into other departments without resigning. I was ready. It was a timely initiative aimed at retaining talent, and it opened doors for those who had been quietly reskilling and looking to pivot. For me, it was the opportunity I had been preparing for.
Okay. And she was ready. She was ready. Well done.
Thank you.
So, a lot of times opportunities come and we're not ready. How do we grab it before it goes? Because the opportunity comes but once, but I don't agree. Opportunity comes every day, but how do we grab? How do we? It's mine. It will not come.
So it's really about being ready, to be honest. Just like I said, I'm like in my own journey. There's upskill when you have to. Be in the right rooms as well.
How do we know we're in the right rooms?
Right. Be in the right rooms. Attend, be in the right rooms where you know that you can get access to those that hold the key to your next level. For me, in London as well, I struggle to integrate. When I started building my business, the first few years, I was building solo. And there will be a time will come where you need more than just your own intelligence.
Oh, yes.
You need to expand your network. You need to know how other people are doing other things. And that's the best way to pivot. Because I didn't even practice entrepreneurship in Nigeria where I was comfortable. And then I went to a new country and I was an entrepreneur. Trying to understand marketing, business and all of that all at once. Right. So going to events, meeting new people, expanding the scope of my knowledge, my exposure and all of that. And a lot of people always make that mistake. You cannot outrun your exposure. You cannot and it also links back to what you said, that the people you network with or you meet when you first move to a new country to influence
a lot
your journey.
A lot.
And that's why we started LWB in London at when we started 4 years ago. A lot of people meet people that tell them this is the only way. This is the only job.
They will come and pick you from the airport.
They will tell you that in the UK when you are coming, you can only do care job because maybe that's their projecting. That could be their own journey. But everybody's journey is different depending on what you are ready to put into it and your personal circumstances as well. So what am I trying to say? Expand your network. If people that are around you are people that tell you something is not possible, you can't amount to anything in life. It's a lie. Change your environments. Go to places where you see people that have been exactly where you are and today are thriving. And follow their footsteps, follow their guidance, their mentorship. And definitely you will also be limitless.
If every listener decided to reinvent one area of their life today, what first step would you encourage them to take?
First step.
Yeah. First step. Like baby steps. First step.
So the first step will be to access yourself.
I don't want to access myself.
You need to do that audit of yourself, your skill, your capacity, your network. What am I worth? Like, what skills do I have? Right. Not what am I worth in terms of.
No, 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 no. You know when you say what am I worth? You know in Yoruba is like kinimojamo. Okay, just no, no, no. What? We're in dollars.
Yeah, I might be thinking in Yoruba as well.
I was thinking in Yoruba.
Well, exactly. Like, what am I worth in terms of my skills? What can my skills command? What can my network command? What rooms can I open at the moment? And then when you identify the self problem, you start from there. If you've identified gaps, then you need to start taking the steps to fill those gaps. And that is where that would actually have that, multiplier effect to take you to exactly where you need to be.
Okay. They say we should assess ourselves. And the only prayer I can pray is may we see ourselves so that we don't judge ourselves. Because at times whereby we have a lot, we've done a lot. And then you look at yourself and don't even give yourself enough credit for how far you have come. Right? So may we open our eyes to see ourselves and then open the door.
Yeah, and be able to see a future, visualize a future version of ourselves and not see finish ourselves.
Good. May we not do because that's the right word. May we not do finish with
ourselves finish because we can actually be more. Yeah. If we don't stretch ourselves, like we don't even sometimes we don't know our own capacity.
Yes. Yeah.
There's sometimes that I just I have a dream of something.
Yeah.
And I just start. I don't even know what
Just start first.
And then sometimes I'll be like, what if this thing can succeed? That's all.
If she looks back from the lady who told her record does not exist, what has changed?
What has changed is that I've reinvented myself over time. Different seasons of my life I've requested for different versions of me. Motherhood. when I started motherhood, when I became a mother, that requested for something else from me, and I had to reinvent myself to be able to juggle motherhood, business, career, this and that, and also the lives of people I'm transforming, because I have a big community. I have the biggest diaspora community in the UK, right? And each of them are also looking to me, looking to the solutions, I provide to get to their next step. And that alone is a reason why I can't stop. I have to keep, solving the next problem, to keep moving.
So our record does exist. Our record does
definitely exist.
I think we should go and put that in our bio. Our record does exist. Signals on 1.3. 2 to 3 more before we go. Now, the people who are coming back to Nigeria, thank you for coming back to Nigeria. Thank you for coming to come and disturb us. It's okay. We welcome you back with love. What should they expect? Because people are coming back home. They're going and they're coming. It's okay. There's money here. It's fine. Bring the knowledge. How is integration here coming back, and how is integration there?
Yeah. Yeah, I've never left, and I've always Nigeria is, it's just that now I'm doing something in Nigeria related to what I'm doing, but in terms of personally, I never left. My heart is still here.
Okay.
But talking about people moving back, it's just like I was telling someone when I was trying to explain LWB to them. It's not about relocating. We are not coming to tell people to relocate. We're trying to tell people that regardless of where you find yourself,
you can do something.
You can thrive. Relocation is not what defines whether you're successful in life or not. However, global opportunities exist. Start preparing from where you are today. And for those coming back home as well, one thing I always tell people is that you cannot, there's a lot of solutions. There's a lot of problems to solve when you get into a new space, because you're coming with fresh insights, fresh perspective, right? And there are opportunities here as well. But one disfavor a lot of people do for themselves is that, they move abroad, they spend 3-4 years abroad, and while they were there, they remained in a bucket where their exposure and everything, it's just like people that get stuck in care industry or some industry. They never even get that exposure. Okay, let me give you an example so you can understand for context. There was someone that had to move back to Nigeria after about 4 years or 3 years in the UK. And that person was begging for a job. Any job.
What happened?
Any job. Anything at all. No. And that's a disfavor. Because even if you had to do like a care work is actually, there's dignity in every dignity kind of labor. Work.
Yeah, there is.
But you know that you need to continue to make yourself globally relevant. Right? So even if you found yourself settling for something because that was what that environment demanded from you, you can still continue to work on yourself. Remember what I said?
Yes.
Keep working on yourself. I'm care work, but I'm taking it.
Yeah, this is 2 years.
I'm taking the tech course as
doing everything together.
So also make sure that I'm able to talk intelligently when it comes to tech. I'm acquiring skills that I can use anywhere else. I'm preparing for that other environment or anywhere I find myself. And I've had people who moved back. Some of them are alumni. They did trainings, and when they moved back, they were able to get jobs that was even higher than what they left. And they're even happier here. Some of them were able to start businesses to solve problems, that are better than, to solve problems, to also improve the economy of Nigeria. So it's still about working on oneself. That's something no one
will take away from you,
regardless of where you find yourself on planet Earth.
Okay. Thank you very much. Taking time to go into a new country, to create something from scratch, and seeing it through. It's a lot of work. So well done.
Thank you.
Now, should they expect? You said execution is key. That one we know. Our record exists. That one we know. Meeting partners. That one we know. What more should they also expect? Because a lot of times there are a lot of events, and we go, we network and we partner. And after that, what's next?
So what next should actually be living in that limitless mindset.
Okay.
It's not just about the action you take on the day as well, but the continuous
work,
work you continue, to do with yourself, with your business, your career. Right. Say for instance, you attend the events, you learn that tech is relevant.
Yeah, it's good.
Enroll for tech, start the course, see it through. Seeing whatever it sees, you decide to, because momentum is always good, like in the instance. But you see that consistency is what will get us to exactly where we want to be. So seeing it through, not the hype, of the day only, not the aspire to perspire on the day only, but the action. It would, some of this action to when you are in it, it will be like muddy waters. It might not be as smooth or as fancy, but see it through. Because you should know that your why from the start. You should know your why. It should be strong enough, and you should always go back. It's just like someone building a house. You have your 3D picture, and in between, something is happening, it's not going well, but you always go back to that picture. This is what I get at the end of the day. I will keep doing. I will keep going.
Okay then, and thank you very much. Thank you, Rukayat Alabi Oyelayo. Thank you, Fola. Thank you, Bolu. Thank you, Benedict. Thank you, Uncle Charles. See it through. It's August. Don't see yourself finish. Respect yourself in a very good way. And finally, to many more August surprises, to many more new things that we want to do, and to many more breaking the glass ceiling. Have a wonderful week, and God bless.